We'll start the class with 3 ohms. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So we are doing this beautiful text called Saddarshanam. We have finished up to 31st verse. We are into the 32nd verse right now. And to tell you what we have done so far, this is a summary of the entire text of all the verses. From the 25th verse onwards, we have started analyzing the ego I. Saddarshanam is an advanced text meant for those people who have done Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and who have done very basic texts like Tattva Bodha and so on. Because to understand this text, you must have the background information about Atma. If you come and start this text straight away without the background, especially the Tattva Bodha, this text will not make any sense at all. So I'm sure everybody who's listening has done Tattva Bodha and has listened to other scriptures. So the 25th verse, like I said, was talking about the ego I. That means I notion which arises when I wake up in the morning. And the I notion which drops off when I go to sleep. These are the two basic information you should know what the ego I represents. And then from 26th verse onwards, the Mahavakya analysis, that means the crux of this entire teaching of Saddarshanam starts from the 26th verse onwards. Because this is a very deep analysis of the ego I. The ego I in the 26th verse was given different names, and it is borrowing certain attributes of Atma I and certain attributes of the Anatma body. So ego I is a mixture. We must remember this all the time. So when I am experiencing the waking state, I am the ego I, and I am a mixture of two things. One is a part of me is the Atma, which is the pure consciousness. The second part of that, of the ego I, is the mind plus the reflected consciousness plus the entire gross body and the universe. So what makes this analysis very difficult or complicated is the Anatma I. That means the ego I, which represents the entire gross body. Suppose we didn't have the gross body, we would be purely the pure Atma I. So this ego I is given the name Jiva. it is also called as the knower pramata. Then this jiva is also called as a grantihi. Grantihi means it's a knot. This ego I is a knot. Why is it a knot? Because it ties the body. Without the ego I, there will be no linkage to the body at all. Body will appear and it will disappear. But without this ego I will not be able to say I am in this body. That is what was said in the 26th verse. 27th verse, ego is born in waking and in dream. Another ego exists in sleep state, but generally we are not aware of that ego. And this ego, the waking ego and the dream ego, they get resolved in the sleep state. And the 28th verse said, how does this ego completely disappear? Completely disappear means that it gets negated by knowledge. Only when we know what is Atma, number one. Number two, we need to claim that Atma as my real self. Then we can falsify the ego. That is what is said in the 29th verse. Then in the 31st verse, it says that the moment I keep on saying I am the Atma and I am not the body, mind, intellect, it leads to the egoless state of being. And 32nd verse is when the ego I drops, Sakshi I rises. This is the climax verse of the entire Saddarshanam text. Now let us let's go back to where we stopped last week, and we will have a quick revision from 27 to 32. I have spoken a little bit, but here a little bit more details are mentioned. The 32nd verse is the result of Atma Vichara. Atma Vichara means who am I? Inquiry. What is the final result? Suppose I come to know, you ask a question and say, in the next 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, I will study further. What will happen to me when I have studied and understood the scriptures well? So that is what Ramana Maharishi is saying. When you understand the scriptures well, the ego I will be falsified. Falsification means not that it will not appear, it will still appear, but you will say that this is a false I. Okay, I will just go through it. That's all. It's an appearance. I will go through it like the dream. The 29th verse compares what is the state of a jnani when he has realized his self as Atma. The comparison is as ahankara, I am finite. Finite means what? I identify myself with the finite body, with the finite mind. The body is weight, is so-and-so. I say I am so-and-so. The body is suffering from diabetes. The body is suffering from some problems. So I am suffering. So these are all the descriptions of the ahankara, the ego I. We also say I am mortal. It say I am a doer of actions. I am helpless bhokta. Bhokta means I am enjoying certain good things in life and certain bad things in life. So whenever we experience anything, all experiences lead to either sukham or dukkham. Sukham means happiness which is coming because of some meritorious actions in the past. Suppose you have done something good for somebody in the life, in this life itself. Suppose you have helped somebody, that person comes back and helps you today. So the result of what you did 10 years ago, or suppose in your own family, if you are old and then you have taken care of your children when they were young, and they are now taking care of you when you're old. So what happens is what I have done action in the past gives me result of action, not at the same time, but now after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you get the result of that action. In Vedanta and in the scriptures, we call this punya papam. This punya papam is not a result of only this birth. It also is the punya papam is a result of all the previous births I have had. When I say I have had means what? The mind has had different births in different bodies in the past. And I've done several actions, and then this is how this current body is a result of the past actions, the past bodies which I have undertaken up. And this ahamkara is an appearance. How is this appearance? Exactly like a TV screen and a movie which we see. Suppose you see a movie on a TV screen or news. Suppose you see today's news on the screen, on the TV screen. So this movie characters will come and then they will go off. After some time, you'll just see a blank screen. That blank screen represents the sleep state. The movie screen, the movie when it is, or the news when it comes in, it can be either the waking state or the dream state. In the waking state, the sense organs are also open, they are functioning. In the dream state, our normal sense organs are not functioning. That is the only difference between the dream which we experience in the night and the waking. So if we remember that my nature is exactly like when I see the whole screen blank and I am there. You see, you should always know that you are the consciousness which is always there. And in the sleep state, I am there, but the screen is blank because the mind is sleeping. The moment mind wakes up, again the show starts. Again, the whole, whatever I have to experience during the day today, it will come. Tomorrow also, it will be the same repetition. This is the nature of the world. We cannot stop it. This is the nature of the body. This is the body will go to sleep. The body will wake up. And what is moksha? Moksha means I don't say that the ahamkara is me. Right now, without the knowledge, I take this waking state body is the only reality. I go to sleep, okay, fine. The body, you just say the body went to sleep. Nobody thinks too deeply about the sleep state at all. Only when you come to Vedanta, you start analyzing the sleep state. And Vedanta is very clear. Unless and until you analyze all your experiences in life, you will not know who you are. Suppose you say, I will only analyze my waking state. That means you are discarding 2/3. I mean, you are looking at 16 hours of the day, 8 hours of the day experiences which you are not taking up. But that is not correct according to Vedanta. Vedanta says, analyze your 24 hours of existence. In that 24 hours of existence, what were you experiencing? Look at the whole picture. Because if you don't look at the whole picture, you will never get to know who am I. And Vedanta always analyzes this whole picture with reference to in three methods. They look at it as three bodies: gross, subtle, causal body. They look at five koshas. You all know the five koshas. Or the third method of analysis is the three states: waking, dream, sleep. Only when we analyze all the three and then find out from where is all this coming and going, what is the substratum? That substratum is called as Atma. When I know that Atma, then what I do is I falsify the ego I and its experiences. Because I have gone to the cause. That cause is causeless cause. It is relationless relationship. As Bhagavad Gita, so many times it says, it's relationless relationship. Chapter 9, verse 4 and 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, Nachamastani Bhutani, that verse is only is telling us this truth about ourselves. So what we do is we say that the ego I experienced is mithya. Mithya means it is an appearance. It is transactable. It has got certain benefits, but it is not real. And what is real? Real is something which exists in three periods of time. It existed in the past when I was 5 years old. It exists today. It will exist tomorrow. And it is changeless. This is the definition of Atma. It is always existing. It is not changing. And it cannot be seen by the sense organs, or it can never be thought by the mind. So after the knowledge also of this Atma, I continue the transactions, but with an understanding that my pure nature is awareness principle, consciousness principle. Once I know this, the knowledge of this Atma comes only from the scriptures. I have full Shraddha in the scriptures. I have full faith in the scriptures. When they tell me that that is my real state, I 100% believe and I go and accept it. Many of us listen to these scriptures. We listen to Bhagavad Gita, we listen to Upanishads. Some of us have done it for 20 years, 30 years. But still they say that, no, I haven't got the benefit of it. I've heard and heard, but I don't see any benefit out of this listening, because we have done listening with a lot of notions in the mind. I still continue my notion of I am the body, I am a finite being, I am a father, there is nothing wrong in these notions, but only thing is you should add one more point. These are temporary dresses which I am wearing. My permanent dress is the Atma dress. Like we get the knowledge of the clay, then we can continue using the pot and do all the transactions. The pot has got transactability, it has got utility. Similarly, the body has got utility. I can help others. I can do a lot of things when I am in this body. So mithyatma of the dream when it is known, or mithyatma of the ego when it is known, then only Atma claiming is possible. For example, when I wake up as a waker, then only I can say the dream is false. I keep on being in the dream and I don't wake up. Similarly, when I wake up to my super ego or the super waker status, after having woken up to that status, it's possible for me to say that this waking state which I am experiencing is an appearance. It is existing while I'm experiencing, and then it will go away. The last week's class was there. Today morning, whatever you did in your waking state, they are all experiences which are coming and going. It's a constant flow of experiences. This constant flow of experiences is called because of the power of Maya Shakti. As Atma, this Atma is equated to Brahman. Brahman means the total cause of the entire universe. That Brahman, that Lord, has got a power, has got the Shakti. Because of the Shakti only, I'm able to go through the experiences. After falsification, ahamkara can't become real again. That means the moment I own up that this is Atma and this is my real nature, then becomes a fact for me. When it becomes a fact and I am able to abide in it means what? I am able to say at any point of time, you ask me, are you having problems in life? You will say yes and no. Not from my real status, yes, from my ahamkara status. When we look at the reflected face in a mirror, we use it. It has got utility. We use it for beautifying our face, for putting kumkum, for making up the face. We use the mirror. Similarly, we use this entire waking state. What do we use it for? We use it first of all for dharma, artha, kama. That is our initial 3 goals in life. After having achieved dharma, artha, kama, then the goal is jivan mukti or moksha. That is why we are studying this text. And in this text, what it says is my original face, my original nature is Atma. This ego I is only a vyavaharika satyam. It is a transactional truth, not the absolute truth. The real I, which is Atma I, is not a doer of actions. It is the ego I, which is the doer of actions and the enjoyer of actions, good and bad. All our life, and each one of us, you try to just contemplate or just introspect yourself. You have lived in this world for so many years. Did you have all joyful experiences, or did you have all sorrowful experiences, or did you have a mixture? Joy and sorrow. 99.9% will say I have had both. Even today, if I analyze, I can talk about the good things of life as of today. And I can also talk about some limitations in my living. I may not have money, I may not have name, I may not have fame, I may not have power. I may like to do so many things, but I can't do it because the COVID situation is there. There are so many limitations. So life is a mixture. The 30th verse I'm just doing the revision. We are in the, we have, because it is a very important portion. I'm doing a detailed revision so that this subtler point which this text is making out, you are able to grasp it. If you are not able to understand these four verses, 29, 30, 31, 32, please ask the questions at the end of, you put your question on the notice board, and I will answer the questions again, because this is the ultimate teaching of Ramana Maharishi. If you have understood this, you have understood the full text. After the 32nd verse, from 33rd verse onwards, it is only the result of this knowledge, what happens to a jnani. That is what is said from 33rd verse up to the 44 verses. The last 12 verses of this text are all Jivan Mukti Lakshana. So the 30th verse talked about that this knowledge is like a razor's edge, because we should have a very sharp intellect to dissect the waker I, the dreamer I, the sleeper I, and then say, I am the Atma, Thuriyam I. So Kathopanishad says that Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Vara Nibodata. That means you wake up, arise, awake. Vivekananda used this particular Kathopanishad mantra when he said, O children of God, rise up to your nature. This is the verse which he was referring to. Same Kathopanishad, beautiful verse. Shurasya dhara nishita durattaya. What it says is Shurasya dhara. That means this path of knowledge, jnana yoga, is very, very difficult to cross because of the Maya Shakti which is there in this body. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Very difficult, Arjuna, to cross my Maya. Whenever we try to understand this Maya, the first thing you should understand is mind is Maya. The three gunas of the mind is Maya, that Shakti, whatever is the power in this body. Is because of the three powers which are constantly changing. All preparations, including pranayama, which Ramana Maharishi taught in the previous verses, is only to quieten the mind first. Because it is not possible to receive this knowledge without a quiet mind. A quiet mind is the basic instrument to receive this knowledge. Bhagavad Gita in the 18th verse, 63rd verse, 18th chapter, 63rd verse says that this is the greatest secret which has been declared to you, Arjuna. Now you reflect on this and then you act. Lord Krishna didn't say you stop acting. After this Atma Vidya, he didn't say you stop acting. He said still go and fight. Fight the war which you are supposed to fight, because that is your dharma. That is your duty. Similarly, after getting this knowledge, after falsification of the ego I, we still have to do our duty in the world and carry on with our life as a Jivan Mukta. Verse 31 talked about silence of the mind, the chattering of the mind. If you are doing yoga, you will understand that there is chattering of the mind constantly throughout the day for all of us. In between work also, or when you are sitting for japa also, or you're quietly sitting down, nothing is happening at home, you'll find the mind start chattering. It'll be preoccupied all the time with something or the other. And then you will find that I'm listening to that. Suppose your mind is where and you are able to quieten the mind, then what will happen is you will be able to listen to this chattering. So what he says is that chattering of the mind is only a small thing, but the ultimate thing is to realize your Atma, which is in which all chattering stops. There is absolute zero. That is called as absolute maunam. Exactly like in our sleep state. But we are aware that I am sleeping. Aware means what? I am that pure consciousness. It's only a knowledge in the waking state. You cannot try to wake up in the sleep state and say, no, I'm going to, after this knowledge, I'm going to try to wake up in my sleep and claim this. It's not possible. Don't try to do that. It is only a knowledge. That knowledge is gained in the waking state. So the ego I is displaced and the higher Atma I occupies the mind and it becomes the master of this body. When does this happen? When my knowledge is 100% clear. Number one. Number two, I own that knowledge as my real nature. Number three, I continue to remember that throughout my life. Then I can say I am Atma Nishtha. What is the change in understanding after this knowledge? I will say every transaction is based on the ego, mortal I. Why do we say that all our transactions are beginning and ending? For example, I start going to the office. Again, I reach the office. The transaction has ended. Then I start the work in the office. Then again, I do something else. Again, I stop. Again, I start something. Again, I stop. In all this, what is happening is the ego I is rising and ego I is falling. You take up some other task. Again, some other task. Again, some other task. So this constant change of the ahamkara, after the jnanam, we come to know that this is only an instrument of transaction. It is not my real nature. Before, it was my nature itself. Whenever the mind was acting, I'll say, oh, I am acting. I'm very, very turbulent today. I'm agitated. I'm emotional. I'm so and so. But after this knowledge, you will say it is an instrument which I am holding. It is not me. I am the Atma in this body. I am the pure awareness principle. Lord has given me this body along with the mind to transact in the waking state for maybe 100 years. After that, I go back to this Atma. Mithya ahamkara is enough for mithya worldly transactions. To speak, to read, to write, we all require this mithya ahankara. We cannot be without this ahankara. Only thing is that it becomes a poisonless cobra. Suppose you take out the poison from the cobra, then it becomes poisonless. You can wear it like an ornament in your neck. That's what Lord Shiva does. He has captured the ego I, and then he says, now I can wear it like an ornament. So we can also wear the ego I like an ornament. Whenever it disturbs us, we can say, well, let the ego I remain in its true status. I will not be bothered. I am the pure consciousness awareness. But this takes time. It is not easy. When I say that ego I is a transactional reality, I am automatically claiming I am the substratum, the Atma or Brahman, which is called as the Adhishtanam of the entire universe. So the moment I drop the ego I, automatically I'm in the lap of Atma. We don't have to do anything. We are already there. This is a Siddha Vastu. I am that. Each one of us only has to claim I am that. That's all. Even to teach Aham Brahma Asmi, I require the Ahamkara. Without Ahamkara, I was, I am, I ever will be this pure awareness principle, which is called as Brahman. In philosophy, it's called as Brahman. In religion, it is called as God. Both mean the same, and they are all in me, in my own body. When I know this, that is called as the self. When I realize that Atma, it is called as self-realization. So this was the revision of the important portion of this text, Saddarshanam. The 33rd verse, now it will start telling us after this knowledge, what happens. Like the Sthita Prajna Lakshana in the Bhagavad Gita, which from the 54th verse onwards, chapter 2, or the Gunatita portion in chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita. This also is exactly like that. So from 33rd verse till the 44th verse is the same topic. What happens to me once I have realized my Atma? So first thing he says, Ramana Maharishi is saying, what is there that remains to be done for me? Because I have known I am the ever shining Atma. And I don't consider the ego as myself. Ego is a temporary phenomena. And also I know there is nothing else apart from me in this universe. All these mountains and rivers and the entire universe full of so many transactions and so many things. They are all appearances. They are like the waves which come and go. You are sitting in the ocean. You are sitting on the shore of the ocean, on the shore, and you're watching the waves. They're coming and hitting us. Wave after wave is coming and going. And what we will say is, I have no bondage because I don't connect myself with the body or mind. The duties will continue as per the prarabdha of the body. Nothing to do with me. All the duties which I have to perform will be done. That is the beauty of this entire teaching. It says that nothing happens, nothing changes in our life except the fact that I know my higher nature. All actions, they depend on the karta, ego, I. So what happens is, there is no pressure in me that I have to fulfill something in life. Because I am a fulfilled person, all joys are included in the gain of the truth. That means when I have the knowledge of these beautiful scriptures about myself, then there is nothing else required in life. I can say I have achieved my purpose of life has been achieved. The goal is gained, there's nothing else. Atmanam ched vijaniyat. Very beautiful verse in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Kimichan kasya kamaya. The Guru is saying, or the man of realization is saying, after knowing I am this Atma, then desiring what and for whose sake will I suffer in the wake of the body? He says that what it means is there is no more suffering for me, because body may suffer ups and downs, pains will come and go, but I will not identify with it. Till we understand the scriptures, we never come to know that there is a realization of the true self. When we have that realization, we can live in this world, but without identification with the body. This comes as a part of realization. Jnani works to share his inner joy and love because that is his nature. And that is why people, after learning also, they come and teach, because they have got so much of love inside their hearts. They have clarity in their knowledge, and still the waking state will come and go, and therefore actions will be done. What is the difference between a person of knowledge and a ajnani? Ajnani means a person who doesn't have the knowledge of Atma, who has not claimed Atma as his real self. He works from inner discontentment. That means I need something, I need to fulfill something. So this is how we have all been living our life. I need something to be done. I need either money, or I need fame, or I need power, or I need to do certain things in life. And always actions are desire oriented for a person with the ego eye. What is the diametrically opposite nature of a jnani? He works from a deep sense of fulfillment. That means he has got the inner joy that I am the Atma. And then he has freedom in action, not freedom from action. He may choose to act, he may not choose to act. Whereas Ajnani he doesn't have that freedom. This is a very big difference between a jnani and an ajnani. A jnani will do action and say, this is my duty, I will do it. And he will do so many actions. But he is not bothered what's going to happen to the organization, what's going to happen to so things which are ashramas which I have created. You look at so many people who have like Ramana Maharishi, like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, they never bothered what's going to happen to RK mission, what's going to happen to Chinmaya mission, what's going to happen to all. They never bothered. They said, okay, I am doing my duty. It's a part and parcel of this world, and therefore I am free. Their actions sprung from joy. That is the difference between a jnani and a jnani. That is called as true freedom. We have freedom. We have the willpower. There are many questions asked about willpower versus fate. Even Ramana Maharishi in the 25th or 26th verse, he asked this question about the fate and will. There was a question which was asked, and destiny or the fate, destiny or the self-effort. The 21st verse. So when you come to Atma level, these discussions, they don't hold any water, because that is the nature of the world. Accept it and move on. In the 55th verse it's a very popular verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha stitat prajnascha dochyate. This is a very beautiful verse. And here it says, this is what Ramana Maharishi is also referring to in this particular verse. When a man completely casts the desires of his mind, he is satisfied in the self by the self. This is what is called as fulfillment. And that man or that person is a person of steady wisdom. Steady wisdom means what? Sthita prajna. Sthita prajna means what? I am the pure consciousness awareness principle is constantly there. When it is constantly there in the background, I am called as Sthita Prajna, I am called as the wise person, and then I am acting. There will be no feverishness in my actions, that agitations. I will carry on with all my actions very smoothly because there is no rush. The rush comes in, anxiety comes in, fear comes in only when I am a ego I. Jnani swallows the ahamkara as dream swallowed by veka. So this normal ego I is swallowed by the super ego, or we can call it super waker. So I can live in this life as a super ego status. That means Turium status. As pure consciousness, I can still continue my life. And all my actions will go on. And the only thing is, I will say, well, it is a understanding that it is mithya. This mithya principle must be very clearly understood. Again, if you don't understand mithya, please ask me this question. You must also contemplate yourself on your experiences in life to understand what happens in dream, what happens in the waking state, and what happens in the sleep state. This self-analysis, self-introspection is the ultimate knowledge. Without the self-introspection, there is no self-knowledge. There is no Atma-jnana. It's very, very important part of our study. The 34th verse talks about the Mahavakya, that thou art, tat tvam asi. What he says, what Ramana Maharishi says here is, you need to abide in this knowledge. That means you need to inquire again and again till the mind is satisfied, till our own mind is satisfied. That reality shines in our own self. That pure Atma, the pure consciousness, the pure self-awareness is there in all of us. It's only I have not either bothered to look inside me, or I never had this opportunity to ask myself, who am I? So here what Ramana Maharishi is saying is, let this inquiry happen again and again till your own mind gets the clarity. Not only gets the clarity, it also is able to hold whatever you are arriving at. That status has to be owned up by the ego I as the real status. And why does the mind does not abide in this truth, even if it is told by so many people in so many texts, in so many different ways it has been told? Why our mind is not able to hold on to that knowledge? This is a very big topic which is taken up in many advanced texts like Vichara Sagara. Because there are students who have gone through this for many years, they still have doubts. They still are looking at the ego I, or with the deha abhimana, with the identification with the body. They still are analyzing. This is the problem. We have not learned to drop the body identification or the mind identification and then do the analysis. This is the basic fundamental problem. This is our 80% of the problem. The other problems are that I don't have full Shraddha in the scriptures. That is called as Pramana Asambhavana. In Sanskrit, I'm just digressing out of this text. Because I just want to tell you what I have learned from an advanced text called as Vichara Sagara. This text tells us that there are obstacles in us. One of the main obstacles is like I said, that I keep on looking at my analysis is done with the help of identifying myself with the body and the mind. And then I try to analyze everything. What Ramana Maharshi says is you first drop these two identification, then start analysis. So that is one problem. Second problem is Pramana Asambhavana. Pramana means I don't consider the Bhagavad Gita or the Saddarshanam text or the Upanishads as a pramanam. Pramanam means source of knowledge. A source of knowledge is like the eyes, like the ears. Suppose I hear something. How much Shraddha or how much faith you will have in that knowledge? Suppose you hear a news. So you will say, yes, I heard it and therefore that's the truth. Or you will say, I see it and therefore that's the truth. But here, the Shastric words are the Pramanam. That means the Bhagavad Gita says, you are Atma. That's all. There is nobody else in the world who's going to come and tell you that you are Atma. And I have to believe what the Shastra says, like my eyes and the ears. So that much amount of faith I don't have in these scriptural words. That is another obstacle which we all have. A third obstacle is also we have learned that in the past that I need sadhana chatushtayam, I need purity of mind. And of course it is required, no doubt, but in the advanced text, what they say is you need to drop that notion that I still don't have this purity of mind. At an advanced level, you should say, this knowledge is very powerful. I accept this with full faith. Therefore, I don't need anything else apart from this knowledge. That's it. All the drawbacks which I've had, I used to identify with my mind, I dropped them. All the notions I had about myself, all the notions I had with reference to my body, I drop it. Once and for all, I drop it. And then you say, I am the Atma. This way, it is possible to gain this knowledge. This is the power of Tattvamasi. You are that Brahman. This is the roar of the scriptures. This is the roar of the Bhagavad Gita. It says that you are that pure awareness. It is never, it is the cause of the whole universe. Accept it, bring it to your own mind, let your mind absorb this knowledge 100%. Then it is possible to drop this ego as a false entity. See, nobody has told me that I am the ego or I am the body or the mind. But we have assumed that we are the body. We have assumed we are the mind. We have assumed. This is assumption based. It's not the truth. The truth, the fact is I am the pure awareness. Right from the beginning till date. Before the body was born, I was awareness. Even when the body is there, I am awareness. Even when the body goes away, I am awareness. The awareness has not changed. In awareness, the whole waking, dream, sleep is coming and going. That is the final ultimate knowledge. I need to reflect on it. This knowledge is not easy. It is a very subtle knowledge. And it comes by repeated listening first. Doesn't matter even if you have Saddarshanam is one of the texts. We will do Upanishads. We will do Dakshinamurti Stotram. There are many, many things which will keep on hammering us the same point again and again in different ways. The beauty is each of these texts has got a different approach. Even though the goal or what they reveal is the Atma, they all come from different directions to reveal. Because our mind is not the same. Our mind needs variety of teachings. So here, what Ramana Maharshi says is that repeated listening is required. We have to inquire again and again. That is the message of this particular verse. Till I remain doubtless in this knowledge. Our subtle mind grasps this truth in an instant. But the gross, impure, agitated mind is always located with worldly desires or worldly worries. Even when I'm listening to the class, some of us are switched off and they suddenly start thinking of their worries at home or worries in the office or worries in the family or something. And then, see, that is the nature of the mind. Again and again, we have to bring it back. That is what Lord Krishna has also taught us in the chapter 6 of the Gita. The desires, what are the three types of desires? This comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which says the three main desires which we all have as human beings is lokeshana, name and fame. I want a name. I want to be a president of so-and-so. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a manager. I want to be a director. I want to be a father. I want to be a grandfather. I want to be a so-and-so. I want to have name and fame. Inborn in us. We can't help. We all have that. Vitteshna. Vitteshna means wealth. This is again very normal. Putreshna. Putreshna means I need progeny. Arjuna's grandson Parikshit heard once and got liberated. This knowledge was taught to him. Bhagavatam, most of you have heard. 7 days, he got it. Swetaketu was told 9 times in Chandogya Upanishad. Indra stayed with Prajapati. These are all, in Chandogya Upanishad, Swetaketu was told 9 times Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. You are that, you are that. His father, who was the guru, he told him 9 times. He gave different examples. So we all require repeated listening. That's what Ramana Maharshi is trying to build in this particular verse. Indra stayed with Prajapati for 108 years. Indra is the Devata of the Swarga Loka, the heavenly abode. He is the king of Swarga. And he also got this knowledge. It is said in Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 8, Prajapati Vidya. And there, Indra was told to reflect on the 3 states: waking state, dream state, sleep state. For 30 years, 32 years, he meditated. And then he came to a conclusion, no, I am not this. No, I am not this. All this is just to show that it takes time to get the final liberation. It takes time. It takes time for the mind to absorb in this knowledge and remove this ego I. Knowledge comes as soon as the mind is purified. Vichara is meant for securing independence from the world. I am free without the ego I. I am free person all the time. Even when I'm teaching, even when you are listening, you are ever free. Right now you are free. That is what the teaching is. Even when somebody is the Advaitins, they always, the Dvaitins, they always complain to the Advaitins, you are enjoying good food, and then you're saying that, this food is not there. See, the thing is, when Advaitin, when the philosopher of this Shankaracharya's matam teaching, when they say the philosophy must be very clearly understood, we should say yes, in the transactional field, yes, there is Dvaitam, there is everything is as it is right now. But this is not the only truth. There is a higher truth, which is the truth of Atma. That is the freedom which I claim. Any dependence is samsara, and any independence is moksha. And what Vedanta tells you is, you are that pure consciousness, Brahman, source of Ananda and Shanti. This is the ultimate truth. It says there is no peace in this world. In our normal waking state, it's not possible to get the ultimate peace which each one of us is desiring. All of us are desiring not a temporary peace of, say, 6 hours of good sleep, or a temporary peace in our mind. We are all seeking an ultimate peace which is never broken. That ultimate peace comes by knowledge of Atma or Saddarshanam. That Sat principle is the ultimate peace. We will start from the 35th verse next week. I will open up for, I'll close the talk now for today. 35 to 44, I'll see if I can finish it next week. And the 35 to 44, even if it takes a little bit of time, I'll try and complete it next week. What we will do is, that is, our next class is on 30th of December, next Wednesday. So we will complete this text next Wednesday. Even if it takes a little bit more time, I'll complete the text. On the 6th of January, the new year, we will start a new text. It's a revision for most of you. We'll do Dakshinamurti Stotra. It's a quick analysis. It's just a revision. Take it like a revision of those beautiful verses. It's good to revise because it helps us to understand the same concept of what Ramana Maharishi said in this text also. So on the 6th, we will start, we'll do a revision of Dakshinamurti Stotram. After that, we'll see what to do. So with this, I will close today's talk. And in case you have any questions up to this 34th verse, you feel free to ask me, and we will conclude this text next week. Let's close for the day. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. There are no questions in the chat box. What I'll ask Shanmugam to do is to open up for discussions. So far, whatever you have heard, if you have any questions, you can ask, or maybe you can comment on what you have understood. That also is possible. Anybody would like to start with any question? Shama, you always are the first.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm happy to wait. Let someone else start.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. There's nobody at the moment. You can go ahead.
So the first part is as a comments, because as I was listening, I was feeling so inspired that it just flew through me. So I just let it flow. Okay. So that's a comment, and then I have a question.
Yeah.
So shall I go with the comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
First?
Yeah.
Okay. So this really is as if I'm talking to another person, a friend, okay? And so this is what I'm saying. The real I am, the unreal I'm not, but I see you two as none else but me. And thus we both are the dots in this entire Brahman. The Atman and Atman, the Dvanda thus ends. There is no doubts, there are no doubts, for that I am, that I was, that I will be, the Satchit Ananda, the Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Where and when it begins, should that matter anymore? No, my friend, no more. For you and me are none other, but the only one, the one Brahman. So that just is where your talk was leading me to. You know,
yeah, that is the inner joy which you are experiencing.
Yeah. So that is the joy where even although I might see in my transactional world how others will relate, because they are relating to me from a different place. And this is one of the difficulties in the transactional world, that you may be progressing towards another dimension, but the rest of the world, obviously, whom you relate to, and that's a bit of an obstacle because you're really living in the real world, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so that is why they just flew through me, that in my mind and in my heart, this is not what I will be saying to anybody, but in my mind and my heart, that's an internal conversation which I will be probably having.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, you should preserve what you have written and read it again whenever you have.
It was just so inspiring that as you continued about Ramana Maharshi, it was just coming clear like that. So it was so wonderful. I really enjoyed it. What I also have taken the takeaway, Jnanam swallows the ahamkara.
Yes.
You know, this is one of the statements you make. Jnanam swallows the ahamkara as a dream swallowed by the waker, you know, understanding it as mithya. So that's a very powerful statement that you make there. The question which I wanted to ask is, all that we are learning now through all the scriptural texts, it leads to a buddhi yoga, is that right?
Yes, this is basically buddhi yoga.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this precedes the sthita prajna state, because it's almost like as if you need both, don't you?
Yeah. What you have, your poem is actually a sthita prajna state.
Really? No.
Yes, it is, because Akshay is asking in the chat board, is asking from which is the source of this great poem which you have written.
Oh my God! No! This is your inspiration. It is just come.
He's thinking that what you have written is some Upanishad.
No! It's just God. I'm just so grateful, really, because today morning you will not believe, I was in such a terrible place. Where I was really, in fact, I have actually even searched the Google, because I thought I must study this, because one of the greatest obstacle in any jnanam, so you may have the greatest of scriptures, even God himself might come and tell me, now listen, here I am, I'm God. I'll say, no, I don't believe you. Yeah, that's really the power of doubt. So I was thinking, I was doubting the idea of the doubt. What is doubt? Because it's a thought, isn't it?
Yes,
doubt.
It is. Yes,
it is a thought. And so if I doubt what the scriptures tell me, I'm finished, aren't I?
That's it. So, see, that's why I said, you know, when you doubt scriptures, and scriptures are the only thing who will say that I am of this nature.
And you said another statement there in your text. I remain doubtless in this knowledge, you know?
Yeah,
So that's really the kind of a firm thing you have to hold it.
correct.
Even today morning, I was thinking, how do I know the scriptures? Because you keep saying in your statements, even before, scriptures alone. This is really, you say it. I don't know whether you know it, but you actually say scriptures alone are the pramanam. You
Yes,
know,
because
is
it's
it
not
only?
the eyes, you see.
Yeah, and I thought, why can't I really understand all about the neuropsychology and the philosophies written by Western philosophers and come to the same conclusion? Because it would be true,
Yeah.
you know. So these are the doubts from today morning, and then you come and give your talk and it's all pushed out.
Yeah, that's right. You see, it's just that this is the strength of the scriptures. You see, that's what it is. It's
Yeah,
the only once you say that I believe in Bhagavad Gita, when it
yeah.
says that this is my nature. I
So what
believe in Ramana Maharshi, who says that this is the way to really understand who I am without the ego.
So what is my desire, you know, in the list of desires which you mentioned? So there's the three things which you mentioned. And I'm just wondering, where is this desire of, like, I feel, yes, I know I have access to the scriptures, but there might be so much else there which I do not know, which is really in the normal transactional world, you know, literature which is there, English literature or whatever else literature, you know,
Yeah.
should I not be spending some time examining that? So this is a burning question, why the doubt
No, but
came.
go ahead, go ahead. You see, if you have a desire to learn the English
Is
literature,
that okay? Is that
absolutely
okay?
okay. Yes, it is okay.
Because I love Western philosophy, for example,
Absolutely. No,
Immanuel Kant and all that,
yeah, yeah, no
you
problem.
know,
Go ahead and
or
read. No
or
problem.
Schopenhauer and all. So
Yes.
I was just wondering, is that conflicting or it
No, it
doesn't?
is. You see, what will happen is once you have this Advaitic knowledge, you will understand those philosophers much better.
So I need not worry about
Nothing
it.
at all. Absolutely.
Okay, okay,
You analyze those principles of other authors and
yeah,
and always say, okay, this is what Vedanta says. This is
uh-huh.
what Schopenhauer is saying. This is what other Western philosophers are saying. Go
Yeah,
ahead and do it, and
okay,
you will come to a conclusion. Oh my God, this Advaita principle is so strong.
yes,
It's
yes.
so
I
strong. You know,
I know.
you yourself see. This is what Shankaracharya did. He went and debated with all the people in the
Uh-huh.
society during his time. He said, okay, let me go ahead and debate with Sankhya, debate with yoga philosophy, debate with all the philosophies. Doesn't matter. As
Okay.
long as I see, once you are holding on to the Advaita principle and you have understood that absolutely clearly,
Yeah.
go ahead and you can learn a lot, and your confidence in the Advaita will become stronger.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that. It's just that I enjoy that so
Go
much
ahead. Yes,
that
go ahead.
I feel, oh, I do want to read it. I do want to, you know, study it. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you. You've done a great job for me. You know, thank you so much. I'm
Okay.
so
No,
happy.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
This is the beauty of Ramana Maharishi. Is nothing more.
Wonderful. Thank
Advaita.
you.
Advaita
Advaita.
philosophy. Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a question from Bala Shankar Iyer. This is a very pertinent question to all of us, because what he's asking is uh, inner joy, if one experiences, will it fade away?
I know.
Okay, number one, it will not fade away because this is your nature. Any other joy will come and go. You had a very nice meal today, that joy will go away tomorrow when you again will become hungry. So suppose you had a joy of anything, you had a promotion in the office, or you heard some good news in your family, that joy will fade away, because that is a joy which has come. It is situation based, context based, and it will disappear, because that is the nature of that joy. It is anitya sukham. Any sukham which you enjoy in this world, just think back all the joy which you felt in your entire life. At that time, it was a joy. Did it last forever? No. When I had my first son, I was very joyful. Then what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I had a daughter, I had this joy. Then what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I had my first job, I was absolutely in the seventh heaven. Then what happened? I wanted more and more. Any joy you take, it will fade away. But the joy of Atma is such, it is pure, absolute joy without any trace of sorrow. That is the beauty of this Atma. You have understood what is Atma? Yes, I am the Atma when I am in sleep state. Tell me one thing. In your sleep state, do you have even a drop of dukkham?
No, no.
That is what is Shankaracharya or Ramana Maharishi is telling you, that this is that ultimate joy. Keep that joy as your nature. And that is the power of knowledge. Once you have this knowledge that I am that pure self, this bodily joys, bodily pains also will come and go. But that joy of Atma, because I have the knowledge of Atma, will remain. It will not fade away. It is from that joy only all my actions are coming up. The ego I, the source of ego I is that Atma. From there only the ego I is waking up every morning. And then throughout the day, I am consumed in my ego I status. I carry on because every action in the world is going to give me immediately joy, or it will give me joy or sorrow after some time. So our 12 hours or 18 hours of our day is only action oriented, because all of us are living in karma bhumi. Karma bhumi means it is an action drama which we all have to play. In this action drama, there will be a joy, there will be a sorrow, no doubt about it. But this joy or sorrow is not permanent. It is anityam. The moment I understand and I accept that this is anityam, and I also accept that my real nature is that Atma, what happens is the scriptures have given me a new birth to my own nature. And I know that if that is my nature, okay, then so what? The question you will ask is, so what? Earlier, you didn't ask this question. It was all what. But now that what has become so what? So what? So what if this has happened? Okay, it will go away tomorrow. Okay, so this is not the end. It will go away. That is the attitude change which you bring about. And the other thing which what I meant was to keep the inner bliss with oneself. What sadhanas are required to be done by him or in his lifetime? Only sadhana is keep learning new texts and keep with the Shruti. That means keep in touch with the scriptures. After having this knowledge also, don't say I am learning for the sake of new knowledge, but it is not a new knowledge I am learning. It is the same, but it is assimilating that knowledge. I learn Dakshinamurti Stotram. I learn the Mandukya Upanishad. After that is only to re-emphasize my own nature in myself. Continue to do the duties of the waking state, because we study for 1.5 hours or if you attend the Saturday class also, okay, we study for 2 hours. But 2 hours in 7 days or 24 hours each day, it's a small thing. So let this knowledge keep building up, building up, building up till the time you can say, I am free. Your own mind has to say this. I am now free. Let Prarabdha take care of this body and the actions. Once you are able to say that, what happens is it becomes clear. It becomes clear that I am this Atma, and then it stays forever. It never goes away. Okay, so then there's a question from Akshay. He is saying, it is said that at the time of death, what thought you leave the prana, you reach that. Yes, that is the topic for the Saturday session of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8. How we should prepare for that situation so that we reach the ultimate truth. Please attend the Saturday class at 6 o'clock. You will get the answer. Because that is the topic for Saturday class. The 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is only answering that question which you are raising now. Okay, so I will answer this question in Saturday because that's a big topic. The whole 8th chapter is only the same, whatever you are asking. It's good. You are able to connect these things, which are very good. I'm very happy. Is there anything else from anybody at the moment?
I've just written a message, which I realized it actually directly went to Akshay, but I meant it for everyone.
Yeah.
And that was just simply to say, from today now, I have the courage to walk the talk. Your talk, I can have the courage to walk it actually. I shall walk in the light of the Atman, even though at times this light may dim during the rough and tumble of life. Thank you so much, Shekharji and my wonderful fellow seekers.
Well, anyway, that's very, this can go on and on.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so the next text, we will be starting in the new year with Dakshinamurti. After that, we will do the Mandukya Upanishad revision.
That's very good.
Okay, because these are, Mandukya is always welcome. You know, at any time, it's a beautiful verses which we can always go once a year. We can do Mandukya. There's no problem because that's a basic text. I have personally benefited a lot from Mandukya Upanishad because that Upanishad is so beautiful. It makes things so clear, especially the analysis of the 3 states. Because if you have not analyzed the 3 states, you will never reach Atma. That's for sure. So that's why I keep repeating that almost in every text I do place a special emphasis on the 3 states of consciousness.
Thank you.
Anything else? Rao, do you want to say, Venkatesh, do you want to say anything?
No, nothing specific. So Saddarshanam, we all learned a lot actually. I should say we should be extremely thankful. It's a great verses. So very nice one actually.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to end the year also. I never knew that I'm going to end the year with the Saddarshanam text. It just happened, you know.
No, ending with Saddarshanam and starting with Mandukya also is a great actually.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
There's another beautiful Dakshinamurti Stotram and all that.
Yes.
To repeat once again, it's great actually.
Yes.
So, Saddarshanam, I just want to say one thing actually. I mean, this is one exclusive. The one what I learned is like Ramana Maharshi is emphasizing on dropping the mind actually, and thereby doing the reverse journey. The like Jiva is almost every time traveling to the external world, which we are seeing in a normal way. But here to travel towards the consciousness, how to drop the mind by doing this meditation and that additional emphasizing again and again, you know, like I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So that reverse journey is very beautifully explained. That's what I
That's right. Yes. And
So that,
he has kept only one point. He said ego I. That's it.
that's it. Yeah.
You know, he has removed all other complications in our understanding. He just kept only one point. He said,
Yeah.
where is this ego I rising? There
just
is
drop
this setting.
And just drop it.
Drop this ego, and then you are in the lap of Atma. Finished.
Fantastic. Yeah.
What a beautiful way to
Excellent.
explain.
Beautifully explained, actually.
Yes.
I mean, and he has given the path also, how to do that, actually, how to achieve it. That's
Yes.
very practical, because listening this from the enlightened master who has undergone that journey, that's very amazing.
Yeah,
That's
that's why this text is so nice, especially for people like us, because we are all walking the path, and Upanishad only gives us the knowledge directly. You know, it doesn't tell us the steps, and it doesn't doesn't give us the broad details of the travel involved. Whereas Ramana Maharshi is straight away taking our situation, because he is a modern man of our times, is he?
Yes.
And when he is explaining to us, it makes it much more simpler and contextual for all of us.
Very practical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did somebody actually record him in Tamil? You know, his verses? Did
I have
somebody
no
record?
idea. I think
Just-
once you contact the Ramana Ashram, you will have
they
a
might.
lot of these details.
Yeah. Because I did see a video of him where he was walking and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I did see a video
Yeah, there's
yesterday.
so much available in the YouTube. You can spend another 5 years only studying Ramana Maharshi in YouTube. You know.
Oh dear.
There's so much information available.
So much
Yeah.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, one should be careful in learning in today's environment, because the amount of information overload which is there is really too much.
Yeah.
It's really too much. You know, is especially with the Zoom coming up. You have classes left, right. You can, you if you really Google, you will be ending up with 100 classes a day. There's so many classes going on.
And Google especially, I mean, their worst is, if it is accurate, it's okay. But sometimes they're such hugely distorted.
Yes.
I'm recalling Vivekananda, and I just out of curiosity, just for a second, I ventured into, and I was shocked to see how much rubbish it was.
Yes.
Absolute rubbish in the name of Swami Vivekananda.
That's
I
great.
was so shocked. I couldn't believe it, you know,
See,
how you can distort it.
That is called as the fake news of today's world.
Terrible, really. I mean, why do you attempt on things like Vedanta?
No,
and leave that alone?
YouTube craziness, actually. Nowadays, everybody is putting something in the YouTube, and that's what is going on.
It's madness.
Lots and lots of information.
Frightening. It's frightening, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
everybody.
much.
A lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Shekharji.
Thank you. Rohit, was it okay?
Yes, Shekharji, no questions. It was a nice class.
Yeah.
Oops.
I was wondering whether you're there or not.
Oh, no, I was there. I was just listening and writing.
Yeah. Rohit is a silent spectator. He will never miss the class.
Oh, yeah. Very
No,
good.
I'll listen more than I have questions. I only ask if
Excellent.
I...
I know you're so young and you're getting this knowledge at this age. You have a whole lifetime to enjoy the Jivan,
The glories.
the glory of this knowledge, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.